Everyone thinks that the bench press is a key to a Superman chest, but they're wrong. But here's the thing, the number one chest exercises I use now was not even on my radar when I started working out. The first time I was made aware of my chest basically was because I was flat as a plank. I was skinny, this is how I was built. And someone, I don't exactly remember who, but it was a long time ago, I was 15 years old or 16 years old, someone just mentioned, if you do push-ups, you'll grow a chest. And you know how we are at that age, we do 5 push-ups and then we think that somehow we're now huge. Wasn't the case. But I started by only doing push-up. Probably terrible push-up, probably half-ass push-up, probably half rep. I don't remember. My guess is if I see me now, my 15-year-old self doing push-up, I'd probably be like, oh buddy, you're wasting your time. And then I went to the gym at about 18 years old because I wanted to look like a superhero. I was skinny, I was shy, I was unconfident. I was like, yeah, you know what? I know a chest is what I need. And yeah, I was right. So my chest for me grew quite easily. I would say that my push muscle to me are one of my best features, as my pull muscle are not so much. My bicep, my back are not as developed as my push muscle. It is just how I'm built. It's not that I'm not training them as often or as much. Forgive me if you see a fly at some point here. I have a fly in my basement. Anyway, so I went on to my journey in the gym. And obviously my journey started like probably everyone, which is I get to a gym, I'm skinny, I look at the heaviest, craziest, baddest, muscly dude in the gym and I'm like, I'm gonna do what he does. That was the barbell bench press. It was grabbing a bar, bringing it to my chest. At the beginning of things, I could not even do that. The bar was 45 pounds. I couldn't bench 45 pounds. So I used the dumbbell to get me to the empty barbell. That was kind of a fast point to me to go from dumbbells to barbell, but that was the point. And I remember my dumbbell bench press being wacky and not full range of motion and everything. And then I moved to the barbell. And for so many years from that point, I used the barbell bench press as my staple. I wanted to be strong in the bench press. I wanted to be efficient. Yes, it did build a good part of my chest, but it's not the exercise I associate everything and how I grew up. So obviously, as I started learning things on how to grow muscles and everything, then I went on to trying to figure out what is volume, what's the rep scheme I need to be using, what is range of motion. It was not as easy as today. It's not like you could go on YouTube and find someone like me, as in some, and just figure out, oh, I'm just gonna do what he does, right? No, there was not that many things online. There was some bodybuilding books and all and magazines, but it was quite simple. It was an image from here. It was like, hey, bench press is this, repeat. You're like, okay, cool. I had to figure things out. I had to read a bunch of stuff. I had to try a bunch of things, which was a good school, taught me a lot. But then, incline, decline, flies, cable, machine, barbell, not barbell, what's best, what's worst. First thing for me, barbell, incline, awful. I don't really do it. I don't really use it. I use it on the Smith machine because the bar has a straight path, so that works for me. But the way I'm built or my shoulders are, the incline bench press with the barbell has always hit a nerve in my shoulder and always pinched me, and it just sucked. So for me, that one was out the window. But still, the barbell bench press was my go-to. Every chest workout, I would go to it. It's just like, all right, barbell bench press, let me do it. The thing with the barbell bench press is that you want to be stronger in it. So I would add some weights. And adding weights would not allow me to go full range of motion because I was ego lifting, as everyone. So I grabbed my barbell, I would stop about here, which is, about a couple of inches from my chest, and then I would just repeat and I'd be like, I'm so strong. But the thing is, I was missing the key part of it. I was missing the whole bottom range of the movement. And my chest would get in the way. I don't know, right? So my hands, wherever they were placed on the bar, would just stop at the furthest possible where my chest is. Often this should be enough, but when you do the barbell bench press and when you start adding weight, it's very rare to be able to bring the bar to the chest. I know it's all we say, and I'm pretty sure if you look at what you do in the gym, you're probably stopping quite shy of your chest. So I was doing that for many years. And then I discovered a range of motion. And that's when I was like, oh, the bar is not touching my chest. And one way I discovered it was by using the dumbbells. I just reverted back to the dumbbells and I was like, I think the dumbbells for the bench press for me are more, see the fly? Sorry, are more efficient because they allow me full range of motion. I don't know why, to me, this is just how it went. The dumbbell allowed me full range of motion as the barbell, to me, was much harder to do. So I feel at that point I unlocked something. I was like, this took years in the making, by the way, because I did not have anyone like me showing me the routes and the way and how to do things. I couldn't just buy a program and be like, all right, this, and have all of it. The program you would be buying at a time were a sheet, handwritten exercises like bench press, 3 times 12, barbell row, 3 times 12. That's it. No, nothing. It's just like, hey, here's your program. So it was nothing. You knew nothing. So they did not come with all the work behind it to help you understand how to do things, which is now how I've built my program. Anyway, that's not the point. So I had to figure it out, and it took many years. And then I would play with that, and I would play with the incline dumbbell because incline dumbbell works for me. It allows me to put my elbows in the right position so it doesn't pinch on my shoulder. So incline bench, I would do a bunch of different exercises. And I started coaching. I did all my certification to become a coach. Through all of that, we did learn some exercises. We learned a bunch of stuff to help with muscle growth and all. But it's when I started coaching that I noticed something in my client. And it was on the dumbbell fly and the incline fly that I've noticed it. And it brings us back to the range of motion. And now I'm pretty sure you do that as well. I would see honestly, all my clients grab the dumbbell, go out, step about here, come back up. Because you start having some tension and you start feeling like, oh, this is heavy. So either the arm would bend, which now just becomes a bench press, or the range of motion would stop here. And I was looking at it often, and the cue I was trying to say was, when you think you're done and you need to come back up, just go an inch back. And it would add an inch from time to time. Then from seeing this, I figured this out for myself as well. Maybe I do that. Turns out I was working out too heavy. I was not using proper range of motion. I was not using proper tempo. So when I would do a fly or bench press or anything, I would often just stop when I felt like I had some tension and then come back up, because that allowed me to lift much heavier weights. I was like, all right, so now I'm strong. And then I was like, okay, I see my clients do that, therefore I might be doing this as well. I know how to cue them properly. Let me cue myself properly. So then I went on cueing myself properly and was like, oh, let's go as far down as possible. So I used my normal weight that I was using, and then my arm started bending. So I was like, oh, this is way too heavy. Let's go lighter. And that is an ego check, by the way. When you're at a gym and you just have to decrease the weight drastically because you're trying something new, so then go way lower on the weight count, grab the weight, and I started opening. I was like, let me just go until I can't no longer go further. So I went, came back in. And I was like, that's my exercise. Incline, decline, bench, flat. I want to do the fly forever, because The way it's done, it allows me so much range of motion, brings so much tension to the muscle in that full length, basically, and it feels amazing when you do it. And when you do it properly on the decline, when you do it properly on the incline, and when you do it properly on the flat bench, this is how I believe I grew my chest. Because the tension on the dumbbell fly is not here. There's limited tension here. Honestly, there's about none. It happens all the way down here. So you have to go lighter, you have to go wider. So start by trying that. And obviously now it brings us back to playing with different type of exercises, because you can't always just be doing dumbbell flies and incline flies and decline fly. You could, honestly, but it gets boring. You could use the cable machine, you can use the pec deck, you can use a bunch of other machines that your gym may have to do the exact same thing. Because as I said, with the dumbbell, there's no tension here. But with a cable, with a pec deck, with a bunch of different machine, there is some tension here, because the machine is tension all the way through. The cable has tension all the way through as well. So you want to be able to use that and use a cable properly. But the problem is the same when you see someone at a gym. When I used to see my clients do it as well, I would see the exact same problem as the cable that I saw with the dumbbell. So this is why start with the dumbbell, see how it goes, see your range of motion first, because even if you go to the cable machine and you grab the cable and you stop here and you just do that, it's useless. You want to make sure that the cable also allows you to go all the way back and back in, because otherwise you're missing out on so much gain, so much tension, so much range of motion. So the thing that worked with me very well, everything fly, tension, and bringing my arms all the way back all the time. And I'll start by doing that, and I guarantee you, you'll be filling out your superhero suit in no time. The Superhero Bootcamp is still available, guys, so download it. You have it right here, as well as the 1 Rep Max calculator, or even the Superhero Arm guide. That one is free. The 1 Rep Max calculator is free as well. You can just download that, and I'll see you on the next one.